Roof installation of ClassicBond EPDM. It is essential that the ClassicBond EPDM membrane is allowed to relax before adhering. The time required will vary depending on weather conditions. RUSS, or Reinforced Universal Secure Strip, should be installed wherever the membrane turns up through an angle change greater than 9.5 degrees. RUSS should also be installed around all perimeters if the roof exceeds 100 square meters. ClassicBond seam plates and fixings should be installed at a maximum of 300 mm centers. The base tie-in controls membrane movement and prevents the membrane from pulling away where it turns up through an angle change. Like most single-ply materials, EPDM will, over time, try to shrink by up to 10% back to the center. This is why RUSS is required. Apply the adhesive to the substrate using a medium pile roller. The adhesive must be applied evenly to 100% of the surface, avoiding pools or puddles. WBA deck adhesive should be applied at a coverage rate of 3 to 4 square meters per liter. Bonding adhesive should be used to adhere the entire membrane area on projects exceeding 100 square meters. WBA deck adhesive is for use on timber substrates only. If adhering to an alternative deck material, consult the Flexar technical department. WBA is not suitable when temperatures are 4 degrees Celsius or lower, or if such temperatures may occur during the curing period. The membrane should be laid into wet adhesive. Regular checks should be made to ensure adhesive transfer to the underside of the membrane. ClassicBond membrane should be pressed into the adhesive with a soft brush or water-filled roller to consolidate the bond and remove any trapped air. Do not apply excessive pressure, as this may cause the membrane to wrinkle. Apply primer to the underside of the membrane where it will contact the pre-applied pressure-sensitive tape on RUSS. On dusted membranes, EPDM primer must be applied with a scrubbing pad. A brush or roller may be used only if the membrane is factory pre-cleaned. Allow the primer to dry. Perform a touch test to ensure the primer is dry. A light touch should not leave a fingerprint. Carefully remove the protective cellophane from the RUSS. Gently roll the membrane into position, avoiding trapped air. Roll the membrane using a 50 mm hand roller. Hold the spray gun 150 to 200 mm from the surface and squeeze the trigger. Apply an even coat of adhesive to both the membrane and the roofing substrate. Allow the adhesive to flash off and become dry to the touch. Bring the membrane into contact with the substrate and consolidate the bond. Bonding adhesive should be applied to the entire roof perimeter. Tip: adhering the membrane to the gutter system's back plate will make installation of the front plate easier. Cut the membrane up the abutment in line with the roof edge and at a 45-degree angle away from the abutment at the fascia overhang. The minimum overhang of the membrane should be 50 mm, ideally between 50 to 75 mm. The membrane should not exceed perimeter trims. Fold and secure the membrane, creating a hospital fold. Secure the membrane to allow for application of a pressure-sensitive Elastoform tape saddle. The saddle must cover a minimum of 75 mm both on and off the roof edge. Mark the target area for EPDM primer application. Apply primer 3 to 5 mm beyond the target area. Note, success. Porous surfaces may require an additional coat. Apply primer 3 to 5 mm beyond the target area. Note, successful adhesion won't be achieved unless the area is primed before applying pressure-sensitive tapes and accessories. Allow the primer to dry. Remove protective cellophane and install the Elastoform tape, starting 75 mm onto the deck and working into the angle change. Once tightly dressed into the angle, bring the tape up the abutment wall. Roll the detail with a 50 mm hand roller. With your hand at a 45-degree angle from the abutment, apply pressure to form the saddle, terminating the EPDM to both fascia and wall. Use a suitable tool where pressure cannot be applied with a 50 mm hand roller. Secure SureEdge gutter trim with fixings provided through pre-drilled holes. To install SureEdge check curb trims, compress the pre-applied strip by 30 to 50% and fix using the 50mm fixings provided. Allow 1mm per meter of expansion when joining SureEdge trims. To install check curb external corners or stop ends, snap out the required section to fit over the check curb trim. To install, apply super glue and activator to one side only. Alternatively, if mechanically fixing, pre-drill the accessory to prevent damage when applying fixings.